welcome back. So I'm joined now with Senator Ray Park. Thanks for joining me, Ray.
Not a problem, thanks for having me.
So were you affected at all by the bus strike?
Most certainly have been, and that's only because I live 45 minutes to an hour away in a walking distance, 15 minutes in the bus. This morning I was fortunate enough to have a ride from a friend of mine, but we'll see what happens tomorrow, day after.
There's a lot of plans being put in place, that's for sure. So you have your opportunity to choose how you want to get to school. Now, getting to school during a time when there are strikes, go right ahead. During this time when there's strikes, and you're worried about midterms, right? Because this could go all the way to finals. Like, it happened last year in Ottawa. We don't want that to happen here, but it could. And one thing, speaking about midterms, is that's one thing that you're interested about right now in the Senate, right? You're talking about the term midterm and whether or not that's an exam or what it is, and how you can have more than, you can have so many in one day and there's no policy like restricting that. It's not an actual final exam, is that what you're getting at? I guess what I'm referring to is, if anyone's seen this Gazette, this is from Thursday, October 29th, so about a month ago. But explain.
So basically, as it stands right now, many students don't know about this, but if you're writing 3 exams during the exam season, it had to be 3 final exams, which means it has to be half your course that you're writing exams for. So let's say you have a combination of the one final exam and 2 mid-year exams, doesn't really count. So you have to write all 3 on one day, which is very unfortunate, but that's the case right now. And that's something that I think should be changed to accommodate students, because many students cannot perform on their highest potential when they are put into too much pressure with too much study for within one day.
Like, we have so much time to study for our final exams. We even have like a study day, like where there's no class, and we don't really have that. And I guess I've spoken to a few people, and we'll speak to them on the next episode, who have been affected by this. So I guess what are you hoping to have happen?
What I'm hoping to do is that obviously the University Senate changed that policy in the exams, so it's not only the final exams, but it includes midterms and potentially mid-year exams. And the steps I have taken is to bring the motion to the SCAPA, which is the Senate Committee on the Academic Policy and Awards, and that's the committee that deals with all the academic policies. So I have brought the issue up to them, and then right now they're in the process of reviewing it. In terms of the December exams, I think they are having a general consensus towards making that difference and the change so it can accommodate students. And I think right now they're currently reviewing the midterms during the October time and November time. And right now they're having a few issues just because those exams are not necessarily registered through the registrar, so it's really hard to regulate the system, but that's something we're looking into right now.
Okay. So we're not going to see it immediately, but it might be changed for next year. So that's really good.
I'm hoping to see the change next year.
If you were affected by having too many midterms in like a short amount of time, send us an email. The email is fussbus@gmail.com. If you have any questions to Ray, you can also direct them to fussbus@gmail.com. And finally, this past Friday, we did have a meeting at Senate, and I took down some notes, so these might be important to you. There's 3 new programs coming to Western. 2 are going to be at King's and 1 will be at Maine. There's a new minor in Greek and Latin literature, so if you're interested in that, check that out. Also, if you go to King's, or if you want to go to King's, there's now a minor in Islamic Studies and also a minor in Finance. And Dr. Chakma, the president of the University of Western Ontario, actually mentioned Fuss on the Bus, so gaining popularity here, which is good, and he's actually going to be a featured guest on one of the shows. And so we'll be able to talk to him about a few of the things that he wants to do here at Western. But he gave his report, and at his report he said that he wants to start working on increasing international student enrollment and also more opportunities for Aboriginal students. So if that's something that interests you, please send us your feedback, again at fussbus@gmail.com. And finally, some bad news, and we'll be able to talk to him about this as well. There's a possible 4.5 increase that they're talking about to tuition, and so we're going to talk about that on the next episode as well. And how we're going to accommodate for that increase for financial aid for students. Senator Nathan Caldwell, who's one of the student senators sitting on the Senate, talked about it. Is there going to be still financial aid for students if they increase tuition? Is that money still going to be there available for students? So if that's something that's important to you, please send us your feedback at fussbus@gmail.com. Again, please pass this on to your friends. If you do have any questions, email us. Thank you, Ray, for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And thank you to Emily Rowe, the USC president, for giving a little bit more insight into the different plans and strategies that the USC, UWO, and all students here at King's can partake in about dealing with this transit strike. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. I also live far away, but if it does, let's be ready. For sure. Cool. Thanks for tuning in to Fuss on the Bus. I'm Patrick Searle, and we'll see you next time here in the bus.